This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of Phatts TV, sanctioned by PA Phatts and the non-genetically proven son. Any and all words have been authorized during the show. There is nothing off limits. Nobody is restricted from watching and participating in the show. It is a free-for-all. Commencing at the siren, any and all discussions will be legal for an extended period of time. Sports, politics, and any and all controversial topics will be talked about. You have been warned. May God be with us all.
Welcome to Phatts TV on this Tuesday night, March the 2nd. We are into March, so we're almost into spring, which is a good thing. Joining me, as always, in the upper left-hand portion of your screen, coming to you from the heart of liberal/progressive Bastion Land in Center County, Pennsylvania, from his underground bunker, the non-genetically proven son. How's it going?
Going.
Well, you sound excited.
I hear myself.
You hear yourself. You might want to turn one of your speakers off.
Or turn your volume down.
So, we got a lot to talk about tonight. I don't know if you guys saw the things that I wrote that we're going to be talking about tonight that I put on our Facebook pages, my page, the Phatts TV group page, the Phatts TV Facebook page. I know the son shares it on his page. We got a lot to go over tonight. So I want to start with the good governor from New York. You know that guy, that Cuomo guy, Pierce Nipples, remember him? We all remember him. He's one of the guys that killed a lot of senior citizens because he put COVID patients in nursing homes. Remember that guy? Yeah. Well, as we brought up on the last show, he has now been accused by 1, 2, now 3 women of sexual harassment. 3. And I'm sure there's going to be more that are going to come out of the woodwork. And I will applaud most of the people on the left side of the aisle that want to comment about this are saying that either the women's stories are legitimate or that there should be an investigation. So I'm glad to see that they're not protecting one of their own. So I applaud them for that. Personally, I will say that the same thing that I say when someone on the right is accused of this stuff. You weren't there when it happened. I wasn't there when it happened. So I know the court of public opinion always finds the person guilty. I do not. I want an investigation, and we will soon find out what exactly happened. That's what's going to happen. Now, I know a lot of times it's a he said, she said thing. But I'm very happy that at least a lot of people on the left are saying, you gotta believe the women, like they do always on the right. Do you have an opinion on this non-genetically proven son? As always, if you have an opinion, the message board is live and operational. Feel free to chime in.
I don't think you believe either, to be honest.
Right. So in other words, you want an investigation. You reserve judgment.
If you had to guess, you probably should believe the women, but anybody could.
Yes.
Happens all the time with athletes.
I will say more often than not, I think where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't think the majority of the time these are made up. I do believe at times they are made up, though.
My audio sounds horrible.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm listening to it. I don't hear an echo anymore, but it still sounds so bassy.
Yeah, it's a little bassy coming out of the speakers. It is that way. That's what these speakers were made more for music instead of talking. I will say that. If anybody wants to chime in and pick up the tab for some better audio type speaking speakers, feel free. We take donations here. But getting back to the good nipple governor, if you go on Twitter, which I'm still banned from, by the way, so I've had to go to my backup account that I've had for about 8 years and never have used. 8 or 9 years. Never used it. But I've had one, so I've had to start using that one. It's amazing how many people that are not in politics or not in news, just common everyday people, are defending the governor. Kind of surprising. Oh, there's no way it's true. He would never do something like that. This is a vast right-wing conspiracy. Hillary's favorite line. It's amazing. I'm sure there was thousands of these comments. Thousands of them. I'm sure if I went back a few years and researched what all these people said about Kavanaugh when he was the Supreme Court pick, I'm going to guess they had the opposite opinion. Opposite opinion. And that's where you're full of bullshit, people. You're bullshitters. You can't say that the governor didn't do it just because you agree with him politically. Can you? No. No. We all know men in high-powered positions tend to do this. And we know, unfortunately, women in high-powered positions sometimes do this as well. It's a fact of life. It just happens. We are sexual beings. It's unfortunate that it has to happen. It is. But it does happen. But speaking of somebody we would never sexually harass, at least I would look at you strange if you were to sexually harass Dr. Rachel Levine. I'm still confused. Is it a guy that's now a girl, or is it a girl that's now a guy?
I don't know.
I'm kind of confused on that. But she was this Secretary of Health in Pennsylvania, and she was selected by the competent president we have, to be like Assistant Secretary of Health in the federal government. So I don't know if you caught some of her confirmation hearing or not, but I want to play a clip of this. It's a 5-minute clip. It's Rand Paul, a doctor, when he had his turn to question Dr. Rachel. And she refuses to answer his question. He only asks one question, and she refuses to answer it. She gives the same answer more than once, the exact same answer. And it's disgusting. We will talk about it after the clip. It is truly freaking disgusting. So like I said, it's a 5-minute clip. It's about 5.5 minutes or so. I want to play it for you. Hopefully it'll come up. There it is.
Genital mutilation has been nearly universally condemned. Genital mutilation has been condemned by the WHO, the United Nations Children's Fund, the United Nations Population Fund. According to the WHO, genital mutilation is recognized internationally as a violation of human rights. Genital mutilation is considered particularly egregious because, as the WHO notes, it is nearly always carried out on minors and is a violation of the rights of children. Most genital mutilation is not typically performed by force, but as WHO notes, that by social convention, social norm, the social pressure to conform, to do what others do and have been doing, as well as the need to be accepted socially and the fear of being rejected by the community. American culture is now normalizing the idea that minors can be given hormones to prevent their biological development of their secondary sexual characteristics. Dr. Levine, you have supported both allowing minors to be given hormone blockers to prevent them from going through puberty, as well as surgical destruction of a minor's genitalia. Like surgical mutilation, hormonal interruption of puberty can permanently alter and prevent secondary sexual characteristics. The American College of Pediatricians reports that 80 to 95% of prepubertal children with gender dysphoria will experience resolution by late adolescence if not exposed to medical intervention and social affirmation. Dr. Levine, do you believe that minors are capable of making such a life-changing decision as changing one's sex?
Well, Senator, thank you for your interest in this question. Transgender medicine is a very complex and nuanced field with robust research and standards of care that have been developed. And if I am fortunate enough to be confirmed as the Assistant Secretary of Health, I would look forward to working with you and your office and coming to your office and discussing the particulars of the standards of care for transgender medicine.
The specific question was about minors. Let's be a little more specific since you evaded the question. Do you support the government intervening to override the parent's consent to give a child puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and/or amputation surgery of breasts and genitalia? You have said that you're willing to accelerate the protocols for street kids. I'm alarmed that poor kids with no parents who are homeless and distraught, you would just go through this and allow that to happen to a minor. I would hope that you would have compassion for Kira Bell, who's a 23-year-old girl who was confused with her identity. At 14, she read on the internet about something about transsexual. She thought, well, maybe that's what I am. She ended up getting these puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones. She had her breasts amputated. But here's what ultimately she says now. And this is a very insightful decision from someone who made a mistake but was led to believe this was a good thing by the medical community. I made a brash decision as a teenager, as a lot of teenagers do, trying to find confidence and happiness, except now the rest of my life will be negatively affected, she said, adding that the medicalized gender transitioning was a very temporary, superficial fix for a very complex identity issue. What I'm alarmed at is that you're not willing to say absolutely minors shouldn't be making decisions to amputate their breast or to amputate their genitalia. For most of our history, we believe that minors don't have full rights and the parents need to be involved. So I'm alarmed that you won't say with certainty that minors should not have the ability to make the decision to take hormones that will affect them for the rest of their life. Will you make a more firm decision on whether or not minors should be involved in these decisions?
Senator, transgender medicine is a very complex and nuanced field, and if confirmed to the position of Assistant Secretary of Health, I would certainly be pleased to come to your office and talk with you and your staff about the standards of care and the complexity of this field.
Let it go into the record that the witness refused to answer the question. The question is a very specific one. Should minors be making these momentous decisions? For most of the history of medicine, we wouldn't let you have a cut sewn up in the ER, but you're willing to let a minor take things that prevent their puberty, and you think they get that back? You give a woman testosterone enough that she grows a beard, do you think she's going to go back looking like a woman when you stop the testosterone? You have permanently changed them. Infertility is another problem. None of these drugs have been approved for this. They're all being used off-label. I find it ironic that the left that went nuts over hydroxychloroquine being used possibly for COVID are not alarmed that these hormones are being used off-label. There's no long-term studies. We don't know what happens to them. We do know that there are dozens and dozens of people who've been through this who regret that this happened and a permanent change happened to them. And, you know, if you've ever been around children, 14-year-olds can't make this decision. In the gender dysphoria clinic in England, 10% of the kids are between the ages of 3 and 10. We should be outraged that someone's talking to a 3-year-old about changing their sex. I can't.
So, that's the good doctor. Whether he's a he or she's a she, I don't know. I'm confused. But for all these smart, intelligent people that watch this show, and Lord knows there's many of you. Does anybody agree with Dr. Levine that children should be able to choose basically having a sex change procedure even if their parents say no, and that the government should be able to overrule the parents' decision? That's disgusting. Would you have liked that non-genetically proven son if I had you take hormone blockers when you were 6, 7, 8 years old? If I started shooting you up with whatever that female hormone is, estrogen, would you have liked that?
No.
No. Or how about at the age of 5, you come home and they talked about it in kindergarten, now you want to become a girl. And I say no. And you tell your teachers that you want to become a girl, and your non-genetically proven father says no. Now they could go to the government and I could get overruled. Think about that for a minute. Think about that. What is it with the Progressive Party and children? We talked about it on this show last year, where California 14-year-olds and 24-year-olds could legally fornicate. 15-year-olds and 25-year-olds could legally fornicate. 16 and 26, 17 and 27. What is going on with progressives and children in our freaking society? This is sick. This is disgusting. I said it last week. I would never want to bring in a child into this world right now. It's just, we've gone off our fucking rocker. For sure.
Tom says I would kill it on the women's bowling.
I'm not so sure. That's another thing. And we brought this up. All these, today I feel like a girl, so I get to compete in girls' sports. And now they're, track champions because they get to compete against girls. Let's just face it. The vast majority of men are physically superior to women. It's just the way that it is. It's the way our bodies were made by that guy up there. So, of course, there's a greater chance that if you put a guy in a 100-meter dash against girls, the guy's going to win. It's just the way it is. Unless if the guy is built like me. I'd take 4 steps and keel over. It's the way it is. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it is with progressives and freaking children. I don't understand. Anybody have any ideas? Non-genetically proven son. Do you have, seriously?
You basically would say everything that I would say.
I mean, it's god-awful what's going on in this country. And now we're going to have, of all probability, I don't believe they've done the confirmation vote yet, but I'm sure she'll pass. She'll get all 50 Democrats to vote for her, so if it's a tie, good old Kamala will break the tie. There'll probably be a Republican or two that'll vote for her anyway, probably Romney.
What?
Romney, who, fell down yesterday and went unconscious and now has a black eye or something like that. He fell down, go boom, he got a boo-boo. He got a boo-boo. Somehow he's polling at 4% for the Republican nomination in 2024. Not really sure how the fucker's polling at 4%. But he is. And there was a surprise entrance on the poll, and he's polling at 0%, and he was pissed. He was pissed that they included him in the poll. And he basically said, if I'm going to poll at 0%, take me off of this poll because it ruins my brand name. And that was El Presidente Dave Portnoy.
What?
He was polled. He was actually polled. I'd vote for him.
Why not?
I mean, I'd vote for me first. I
I'd
mean,
have to hold back. I'd have to. He is a Michigan fan.
Yeah, he is. He is.
So it's the only thing I probably wouldn't like about him. He doesn't like Penn State.
Well, that's probably because the chair of your department that you're going for.
And call him out, and then went radio silent.
Yeah.
He likes Penn State as a campus. It's a beautiful campus.
It is. It is beautiful, especially in the fall. In the fall, it's really nice. A little snowy in the winter.
Yeah. Slightly.
I don't know. I have no idea what the hell is going on anymore. There used to be a time and a place where everything was so simple. Now we got 3-year-olds being able to decide whether they want to be a girl if they're a boy or a boy if they're a girl. You got to be freaking kidding me. Kidding me. So let's talk about another doctor. There's another doctor making headlines. Another doctor. And it's his birthday today, too. Do you know what doctor I'm referring to? He's a famous doctor. He's famous. Very famous. Happy birthday to Dr. Seuss.
Oh yeah, forgot about him.
Yeah. Happy birthday. And what do you know? The cancel culture is at it again. 6 of his books will not be published due to racist images.
What's racist? Redfish, bluefish, whatever. The redfish, bluefish one.
I mean, it's like, come on. Seriously? I mean, I read Dr. Seuss when I was growing up. I mean, I'm a little fucked in the head, but I think mostly I came out just fine.
I read Dr. Seuss.
I mean, seriously.
We had Dr. Seuss Day in elementary school.
Well, obviously not anymore.
And our librarian would dress up as a cat. For Cat in the Hat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Some of the books. And to think I saw it on Mulberry Street and If I Ran the Zoo is 2 of the books.
And what's racist? Because there's a black fish and a white fish?
I don't know. McElligot's Pool, On Beyond Zebra, Scrambled Eggs Super, and The Cat's Quizzer are the other books.
Oh, I thought you were about to say green eggs and ham. I would have cried.
I mean, it was the company that publishes the books is the one that ultimately made this decision. You know, similar to Aunt Jemima and Quaker Oats and, you know.
Hey, there's good news.
Yes, there is. Somebody reversed their decision. Yes. Would you like to say it?
Mr. Potato Head has still got a penis.
Yes. Potatoes could still have penises. Who would have thought? Dr. Seuss
Only
Enterprises,
racist
listen
finds
to... What?
Only a racist finds racisms in a children's book and shows.
Yes. Dr. Seuss Enterprises listened and took feedback from our audiences, including teachers, academics, and specialists in the field. Well, there's your fucking problem right there. You're listening to teachers, academics, and specialists. Right there is your fucking problem. You're not listening to the common, everyday man and woman who will look at you and say, what the fuck are you talking about? Seriously. And to think I saw it on Mulberry Street, it talks about Asian people wearing a particular type of hat, holding chopsticks, and eating from a bowl. I don't know about you, but usually if you go to China, they're eating with chopsticks and usually from a bowl.
Probably, yeah, normally.
If I Ran the Zoo includes a drawing of two barefooted African men with their hair tied above their head. Okay. The non-genetically proven son and I have had discussions about African American feet before.
What?
You don't remember that?
No.
Remember I asked the question?
Okay.
We'll talk about that offline. You'll remember and you'll laugh. It's like, seriously, come on. I mean, the poor guy is today celebrating his 117th birthday. Seriously. It's like school districts across the country have moved away from Dr. Seuss promoting including Loudoun County, Virginia, schools just outside Washington, D.C. Rumors last month that they were banning the books entirely. Banning the books entirely. We're going to ban Dr. Seuss. So here's what we're going to do on Phatts TV. Is there any other comments? I don't have the comment board up right now because I'm reading this article. Every time we talk about book banning on this show, every time, I'm just going to show this picture. Every time. I'm going to show 1933 Germany.
Will they burn books?
1933 Germany. And I don't want to hear that the government did this because it wasn't the government. It was started actually by college students in Germany in 1933. Pretty much the same idiots that are starting the camp that, the Tide Pod generation. So we're going to show that picture every time we talk about banning books. And we're going to show this picture as well.
No burning books.
Every time. Every time we talk about books being banned, we're showing those two pictures.
Ando 56 says that's fair. We can't tell a difference between then and now.
It seems that way. It's just, you sometimes wonder. I was actually talking to somebody. For those of you that don't know, the other live streaming that we do here are on Sundays at the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour, and I was talking to some parents that were there for the first time, and she walked up to me and she said, "Oh, you're the famous guy," and that kind of took me back for a second. I'm like, famous? Well, of course. She goes, "Yeah, you're the one that does the the telecast." I said, "Yeah," and then I said we do something else, and so we got to talking about what we do now, and she said, "Oh, I'll have to check it out," and I told her, I said, "It's not politically correct." We say what we want. There's salty language. And she says, "That's okay. I'm a police officer. I've heard it all."
Oh, jeez.
So I'm sure she agrees with us, by the way, if she's a police officer.
Probably.
There's a pretty good chance she agrees with us. I don't know. I don't know what the liberal progressivism, without a doubt, is a fucking disease. After we're done administering COVID vaccines, we got to come up with a vaccine for progressivism.
Marxism.
I mean, I don't get it. I mean, they want to play Big Brother. They want to control our lives. There's actually, believe it or not, I found it today. Somebody sent it to me. Somehow somebody got a video of me. And it's all over the internet now. Yeah, somebody got a video of me drunk this weekend, and it's now all over the internet. Big Brother. Big Brother was watching. Don't know how it happened, but here's the video.
God, it's dark through here. Oh my God, what is that? What is it?
I mean, seriously, I can't have one. You know, first time in about 12 years I've been drunk. This was this past Saturday night. And Big Brother's watching, and now there's this video of me all around the internet.
Saying you're Bigfoot.
I'll play it for you again. Just in case if you weren't paying attention because you were laughing your ass off at me.
God, it's dark through here. Oh my God, what is that? What is it?
Oh, Lord. I do want to say, as you can tell from the video, when I'm drinking, I could actually run a little bit without keeling over. So that's what I look like without a shirt on. Big Brother was watching me. Them sons of bitches. I tell you. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. I really don't even want to talk about H.R. 1. It's just another sickening piece of legislation that's out here, that's out there. You know, it's like the liberal, dream legislation on election integrity. Election integrity, right. How about it's liberal dream legislation for keeping Democrats in charge forever? I'm going to tell you right now, do your own research on H.R. 1. Because mark my words, the ultimate goal, this is the first step in eliminating the Electoral College for presidential elections. Mark my words. You will see it happen. Not only that, whenever power is supposed to go, we're supposed to be taking more and more power from the federal government and moving it to the state and local governments. That's the way this country is. The federal government is supposed to have very limited powers. We created the 10th Amendment to the Constitution for a reason. States' rights. This bill basically strips all of the powers the states have over their elections and gives it all to the federal government. Last year, did we not just have a census? Who remembers that? Who filled out, whether online, somebody came to their house, they got a letter, who filled out their census form last year? I see you. Yeah, you. Yeah, all of you. You got your hands up. So what does the census do other than count how many people are in this country? What's one of the other main purposes of doing the census? Anybody know? Anybody? Bueller? Bueller? One of the main things for the census is to determine how many representatives in the House of Representatives each state has for the next 10 years. Because it's all based, proportionately by population and areas of population. Well, the states have all, each state has their own rules on how they draw their congressional maps. Most states, like the state we're in, it's the legislature, typically the House, that draws these state maps. Well, guess what H.R. 1 does? It strips the states of the power to draw their own congressional maps. And now puts it in the hand of a fucking federal fucking committee. So now we're going to have idiots in Washington drawing our federal congressional maps. No, but H.R. 1 isn't a power grab at all. The election commission that's out there right now has 6 members. Typically 3 Democrats, 3 Republicans. It moves it down to 5. So now there's always going to be somebody with a majority. I wonder what party that'll be. I wonder. Same day, no matter what state you're in now, each state has their own election laws. They get trumped now by the federal government. You could now have same-day voter registration in every state. Tell me how that doesn't leave you ripe for fraud. The election process will be 2 weeks long now. 2 weeks. The election process should be 1 freaking day. Unless you're voting absentee, which you need a reason to vote absentee. No voter ID. You need ID for everything. Everything. Try to get in. Go ahead.
You need ID to buy alcohol.
Yeah.
Get cigarettes.
Yeah.
Go into a casino.
Try to get into the White House and not show ID. Try it, see what happens. Every 4 years, the major parties have their national conventions. Try to get into the Democratic National Convention without showing ID and see what happens to you. See what happens. To buy a fishing license, you need an ID. Some states, to buy a dog license, you need an ID. Some states, you go see a hooker, you need an ID. Pennsylvania is not one of them, by the way.
Is that actually true?
No.
I don't think so. I was like, what?
Smack yourself upside the head for even asking that question. Seriously. It requires... Alright, so right now, the county that you're in, whatever county you're in, so think to yourself, this is the county I'm in. When you go vote for an election day, your vote gets counted, when polls close, they send your ballot into the local... on the TV, you just slapped yourself. That's how far it is behind tonight. It's weird. Usually it's like 5 seconds behind. Tonight it's like 30 seconds behind. When you vote after the polls close, your vote goes to your county election board to get counted. In the county I live in, it goes to the services center in the biggest town of the county because that's where the electoral offices are. Now, This bill removes the integrity of the local government to verify voter rolls and oversee elections and gives the power to count votes entirely to the federal government. So now local officials will not be counting your votes. The federal government is going to be counting your votes. I'm sorry, I don't trust the federal government to be able to count to 3 correctly. Can anybody, please, if for you people watching the show right now, if you feel that the federal government could count to 3 correctly, please type it on the message board. I promise I will not make fun of you too much. Is there anybody that feels the federal government could count to 3 correctly? Do you?
Donald Trump probably could. That's about it.
I don't think there's anybody in the federal government.
I don't know if our president now can count to 1.
He's
sleeping. Oh, did you love the whatever came out? I don't even know what I'm doing here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing,
I don't know what I'm doing here. I mean, he hasn't had a press conference yet. Oh, by the way, I saw this little ditty. So we all remember what happened on January the 6th.
I do?
Yes. Yes. That's when Trump held the rally outside. And then the planned insurrection of the Capitol happened. Don't kid for yourself for a moment that it was spontaneous. It was planned. It turns out a week before this happened, Trump offered to send 10,000 National Guard troops to Washington, D.C. for that day. And good old, I look drunk 24 hours a day, Nancy Pelosi said, no thanks, we don't want him. What do you know? What do you know? So was this insurrection now a photo op? Did the Democrats know this was coming? Maybe. Did Trump know this was coming, so he offered to quell it before it happened? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe. So let's talk about some fun stuff. We're bringing back the brackets. We're pumped. Can't you tell? Woo! A lot of work for me. So, we're doing the brackets on the best sitcoms. Now, I've made a little change, though. A little change. For the last couple nights, I've been going through and seeing, to find the 64 best sitcoms from the 1950s through the 2010s. Well, getting 64 of them are pretty gosh damn hard. There's a lot more good ones than just 64. So we're going to make this 2 brackets. We're going to do them back to back. Not at the same time, we'll do them back to back. The first bracket is going to be sitcoms from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And the second bracket is going to be sitcoms from the 90s, 2000s, and 2010s. And then the winner of each bracket will face off to find out who or what is the best sitcom ever. So, I had asked for suggestions. Did you, non-genetically proven son, send anything out on your Snapchat or your Instagram or your Facebook? Are you helping me out? No. Go stand in the corner. Stand in the corner for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. Look at you getting a little fat there on the stomach.
Thanks.
Gotta go on a diet. So, I opened it up for people that wanted to vote to tell me what what we should get. Gotten some votes so far. So I want to read off to some of these. Most of these are in alphabetical order. I have in the 50s through the 80s. I have 70 of them right now, so I gotta cut it down to 64. But just to name a few, again in alphabetical order, I got Alf, Alice, All in the Family, The Andy Griffith Show, Barney Miller, Beavis and Butthead, Benson, Brady Bunch, Charles in Charge, Cheers, Chico and the Man, Designing Women, Different Strokes, Family Ties, Father Knows Best, Full House, Get Smart, Gilligan's Island, Good Times, Green Acres, Growing Pains, Happy Days, Hogan's Heroes, I Dream of Jeannie, I Love Lucy, It's a Living, Laverne and Shirley, Leave It to Beaver, Make Room for Daddy, Mama's Family, Married with Children, MASH, Mork and Mindy, Mr. Ed, My Three Sons, My Two Dads, Night Court, One Day at a Time, Perfect Strangers, Punky Brewster, Sanford and Son, Silver Spoon, Soap, Taxi, The Addams Family, The Benny Hill Show, one of my favorites, The Beverly Hillbillies, The Bob Newhart Show, The Cosby Show, The Dick Van Dyke Show, The Donna Reed Show, The Facts of Life, The Golden Girls, The Honeymooners, The Jeffersons, The Mary Tyler Moore Show, The Monkees, The Munsters, The Muppet Show, The Odd Couple, The Partridge Family, The Real McCoys, The Wonder Years, Too Close for Comfort, Three's Company, Webster, Welcome Back Kotter, Who's the Boss, and WKRP in Cincinnati.
What is Full House an 80s show?
It came out in the 80s. Look it up.
That should be a 90s one.
Well, I did have to make some decisions. If it came out like 88 or 89 and was popular, I threw it in with the 90s. So Google Full House and see what it started. It must have started before that I kept it in the 80s.
Full House. 87.
That's why I kept it there.
Okay.
So from the 90s to the 2010s, I don't know all of these because sitcoms suck for the most part compared to what they did back in the day. Two Broke Girls, 30 Rock, Third Rock from the Sun, According to Jim, Arrested Development, that's a funny show. As Time Goes By, Big Bang Theory, Blossom, Bob's Burgers, Boy Meets World, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, that's funny. Coach, Community, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Everybody Loves Raymond, Family Guy, Family Matters, Frasier, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Friends, Futurama, George Lopez. Yes, son, George Lopez made it.
Yes!
Home
Wait, did you
Improvement.
say Everybody Hates Chris?
No, I don't have that.
Bruh.
It didn't come up on the list when I was going
That's
through it.
better than George Lopez.
Well, then maybe I'll add it. You got to remind me. Home Improvement, Hot in Cleveland, How I Met Your Mother, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Jamie Foxx Show, Just Shoot Me, King of Queens, King of the Hill, Last Man Standing, Mad About You, Malcolm in the Middle, Martin, Modern Family, funny show, Mom, My Name is Earl, My Wife and Kids, News Radio, Parks and Recreation, Reba, Reno 911, Roseanne, Rules of Engagement, Saved by the Bell, Schitt's Creek, Scrubs, Seinfeld, South Park, Spin City, Step by Step, That 70s Show, The Bernie Mac Show, The Drew Carey Show, The Goldbergs, The Good Place, The Larry Sanders Show, The Middle, I have no idea what that is, The Mindy Project, The Nanny, The Office, The Simpsons, 2.5 Men, Will and Grace, Wings, and Young Sheldon.
What was the last one?
Young Sheldon.
I was about to say Young Sheldon. What about Fuller House? Forgot about that one.
That's not that popular.
Is it not?
No.
Okay. I can't believe George Lopez made the list.
I still got to cut
Told you it was a
two.
good show.
I still got to cut two, so maybe that'll be on the cut list.
Well, no, you got to put in Everybody Hates Chris though.
Well,
'cause
if I got to put
I
that
don't
in,
know
then I got to
how-
find
does it-
3 to cut.
maybe it's not a '90s show.
Well, when is it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
It's actually a 2000s show.
there you go. What channel
Everyone
was
of
it
my
on?
age would know what Everybody
Right,
Hates
see,
Chris
that's the
is.
thing. Was it on, like, Nickelodeon?
Somewhere in that range.
that's-
It wasn't on Nickelodeon, but
That's why I didn't include it. I tried to keep the ones that were on, like, major TV channels.
well, George Lopez is not on major
I
TV.
know it wasn't. I will add,
That was the late night TV. George Lopez and Everybody Hates Chris.
just for you, I will add Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah.
Just so I'll put it up against Seinfeld so it loses in round 1.
I'll be voting for Everybody Hates Chris. I'll give it a vote. So you're gonna make it a 16 seed? That's not fair. Make it like the 64 overall seed. That's not fair.
So the idea is we will start the early bracket, the 50s through the 80s, next Tuesday. We will release the bracket. The tournament bracket committee will get together this weekend and we'll put them all down in a bracket format.
You said you had 70 for the other one?
Yes.
Cut out 2 and have a play-in. There you go. Have a play-in for the 16 seeds. So then we could add more. We could add Big Mouth.
We'll see.
I'm telling you, Big Mouth will win.
We'll see. So the last thing that I wanted to talk about tonight, and that I had written on it, is a little controversial. A little bit. But you know, we're not ever shying away from controversy here on Phatts TV.
You're bi.
What? I'm bi?
You're bi.
I'm bi what? Bye. Are we singing like songs?
No, you're into men.
I'm into men. I'm into men. I'm into men. Into men. I think you had me confused with somebody else. But speaking of, so we're going to talk about what women really look for in a guy.
Just look at you and do the opposite.
Damn straight. I don't know. Non-genetically proven son. Not a lot of women can tolerate you and your big fucking nose. I can tell you that.
Damn.
You have your mother's nose.
Your mother's nose.
Now, I decided to talk about this because when we were last week going over our band list, when we decided to get in with the cancel culture, we went over our band list. Do you remember that? Those of you, if you didn't watch the show, go back and watch last week's show, last Tuesday's show, when we talked about, we each picked up 10 things that we're going to ban. Well, one of mine was, and I want you to like get a copy of this one for me so I can link it to our Facebook pages, where I said we're going to ban romantic comedies. That's the one that I want, because it was pretty funny. For those of you that weren't listening, I said we're going to ban all romantic comedies because they're just not realistic. Because first off, there is the vast majority of women on this planet do not want a guy like a guy in a romantic comedy. No. Those movies emasculate men. They do. Every single freaking one of them emasculates men. And that's not what women want. Women do not want an emasculated man. They don't want a man that's overly sensitive and is going to freaking cry. You really think a woman wants that? No. No, a woman doesn't want. Now, a woman doesn't want the exact opposite either. You know, they don't want a cocky asshole, narcissistic asshole. They don't want that. God bless you.
Someone just said my name. A cup.
Ooh. Okay. No idea who you're talking about there. But yeah, women don't want that. So anyway, what I said about romantic comedies was they need to have 2 scenes. They need to add 2 scenes to every romantic comedy. In a romantic comedy, there's always a scene where the girl and the guy kind of break up for a day or 2 or whatever, a couple hours, whatever. There's always one of those scenes in a romantic comedy. Always. The girl gets mad at the guy for something. It never fails.
Well, at least that's realistic.
Because girls are great and guys suck. Did somebody just say exactly? Did I hear
Facts.
somebody say exactly?
Facts. That's what somebody said.
Yeah. Girls are great. Guys suck. Guys can't do anything right. Again, this is what goes on in romantic comedies. So, when that scene happens, the next scene should be the guy goes to a bar, gets drunk, goes and buys a muscle car with money that he just so happens to have, that he's been hiding from the woman. Because Lord knows the woman will spend it all.
Smart man.
Yes. And then he needs to shoot some things.
Shoot some
Or blow some things up. You know, blow up a building, shoot a terrorist, you know.
That'd be considered racist, probably.
I didn't say an Islamic terrorist. Could be a white terrorist.
That's racist, though.
It could be a domestic... Well, it doesn't... You could be racist to white people. You know that.
No, they're trying to teach Coca-Cola employees to be less white.
Right, so you could be racist to white people.
That was...
The goddamn poor Mr. Stay Puft,
What?
Pillsbury Doughboy,
Pillsbury Doughboy.
Mr.
Michelin Man.
Well, yeah, but he's more gray though. Thinking of
He is white.
So then, after that scene where he gets drunk, buys a muscle car, and blows up something, then the girl and the guy get back together, of course. Because that always happens. The guy comes crawling back on his knees. Oh, forgive me, baby. I'm sorry. I'm such an asshole. So she forgives him, and la-di-da-di-da. Then they're all in joy, happy, joy again. The next scene should go 50 Shades of Grey.
The fact that you've actually watched 50 Shades of Grey impresses me.
Hey, they were pretty good movies. They gave me some really good ideas, actually. And they should really, really, really get jiggy with it. If you know what I mean. A lot of that. Tie them up, blindfold them, spank their ass. I don't hear her saying facts now. What? What was that?
Because that's a little wild.
Well,
You go like you're like beating someone.
if he's not into that stuff, he's actually not genetically my kid then. Sorry.
Someone's calling the cops for an abuse.
So that's what needs to be in a romantic comedy. So I want that from last Tuesday's show. I want you to cut out that whole part there, so I could post it and
What? Just like the whole band thing?
No, just that part. And if you want to cut out one of yours too, whatever one you want to do, whatever one you thought was the funniest. The one that I thought the funniest was the romantic comedies.
The letter Q.
The letter Q. There you go. Yes.
It's all it is. Nothing, no argument. It's stylized up.
Yes.
Or the color white. Or the white crayon is what I said.
Yes. So, women don't want guys that are like that. The movies portray them. The movies make you think girls want to be like that. The movies want to think this is how a guy is supposed to act. So guys actually act like that, all emasculated. Like the girl took the guy's penis and with a machete and gelded him. That's not what girls want. Come on. Girls want a confident man, not cocky, a confident man. One that they're going to feel secure with. Security is very important to a woman. Don't let them tell you that it's not. It's incredibly important. A girl needs to be in her feminine. And the only way for a girl to be in her feminine is for a guy to be in his masculine. Because if a girl has to be in her masculine, she's going to lose all respect for the guy. That's why romantic comedies aren't factual. The worst thing a guy could do is when you ask a girl, where do you want to go to dinner? And she says, I don't care. Here's a tip from Grandpa Phatts here. Make a fucking decision and go.
Yeah, Daniel, make a decision and go.
Yeah, Daniel, make a decision and go. You decide. She doesn't want to make decisions. She wants you to make the decisions.
Yeah, Daniel.
You decide. Don't think, well, you know, if I choose to go to a chicken joint and she's not really in the mood for chicken, she's going to get all pissed. Fuck that. She should know by not making a decision, you're going to decide. You're the one that decides where you go, and it's her problem if you choose a chicken joint and she's not in the mood for chicken.
How can you be in the mood for chicken? What kind of explanation is that?
Well, if you take her to Chick-fil-A because you're a cheap bastard.
Chick-fil-A is not cheap. That's McDonald's. We'll get some McChickens if we.
A $4 chicken sandwich is pretty cheap.
I can get 4 McChickens for that.
No, you can't. There's no McChickens for $1 without a coupon anymore.
They're
least not
$1
down
for
here.
McDonald's.
At
They're
least
99 cents.
Well, not here. They're not.
They're not $1.29.
Here they're $1.79.
Remember when burgers were 99 cents?
I remember when burgers were a lot cheaper than 99 cents. So take that from Grandpa, from Coach Phatts here to all you youngsters out there, like Ando 56. I know who you are and I know how old you are. So listen to me. I will help you lose your virginity here. When they say I don't know, believe them that they don't know. Okay? Be chivalrous. If you don't know what that means, look it up. Girls... What? Go ahead.
As Rush said, if you chose not to decide, you still have made a choice.
Yes. That's true.
I'm guessing Rush Limbaugh said that.
No. The rock group. It's a fucking song.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Rush Limbaugh probably said that, though. You want me to go stand in the corner?
It's the song "Free Will" by Rush. Dumbass.
You want me to go stand in the corner?
Unless if you want.
I guarantee Rush Limbaugh said that at some point in his life.
So anyway, be chivalrous. Girls, they say they want to be equal to men, and in some things they do want to be equal to men. But when it comes to chivalry, girls like guys who hold the door open for them. I'm telling you that right now. Hold the door. I have a rule. Every girl that I ever dated and the one that I was an idiot enough to marry.
Oh, no.
That was my one biggest pet peeve. You do not open the door. I would compromise. If it's a push open door, then I'm fine. If you have to pull the door open, you better not open that goddamn door to that building. That's my job. Women like that. So do that. The last girl that I dated, you don't know who she is, so there's no need to bring up her name or anything. She was like flabbergasted that I would do this. Like, nobody had ever done that for her before. And I had to explain to her how I was taught to do that by my mother. Me and my mother would go out for breakfast every week. Or if I went to the grocery store with her, she would not go in a building until I opened the door. She would literally stand there for 20 minutes if she had to until I opened that goddamn door. Nah, I
think she did that with me, too.
Yes, and she should. That's just something a man should do. You always hold the door for a woman. Always. Especially if it's a pull-out door. Again, if it's a push, you could compromise. And if she yells at you, you tell her to go fuck herself. You are holding the door. It's your job. Trust me, she will like it. And if she doesn't like it, get rid of her. Because she's one of those that think like women's lib is the best thing that ever happened to God's green earth. You don't want one of them. By the way, here's a tip for the ladies that are watching this show. And I know this is going to hit home for many of you. The most important thing you could do for a guy, and I know this is going to hit home because I know most of you have no clue how to do this. So obviously I'm not talking about that 3-letter word. It's the 4-letter word. Cook.
I knew it.
Cook. If you don't know how to cook, learn to cook. A microwave is not cooking. What?
She said she doesn't do that.
I know she doesn't.
I've never seen you cook.
I know she doesn't. I've asked.
For me.
Learn, ladies, learn to cook for your man. Trust me, he will adore you for it. There's give and take in every relationship. If you want him to be the guy you want him to be, you have to be the girl he wants you to be. And trust me, that is in the top 2 of his list, is cooking for him. You could do it together, that's fine. Nothing wrong with doing it together. But trust me, there's nothing worse than a guy wants to come home to a freaking microwaved meal. Trust me. You have an ally in this. It's called a slow cooker. It's the easiest thing in the world. You put it in there in the morning and you forget about it. And it's done by 5 o'clock. Seriously. If you don't know how to cook and you want to please your guy, go get a freaking cookbook on slow cooker recipes. That's it. That's all you need to do. It's easy. You put it in at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning and you let it cook all day. You don't even have to open the goddamn lid till it's done. Easy. Easy. Do that for your man. And put out a little more than you do. Of course, I gotta say that. Put out a little more than you do.
Oh.
One thing for the men here. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this now. And it was said to me, and I didn't believe it. But it's true. It's goddamn true.
I have a feeling what you're going to say.
Yes, Tom. If you really want to impress a woman, open the car door. Exactly. Exactly. Because they don't know what to do because it doesn't happen anymore. Watch the old TV shows. They always got help. Got, the car door open for them. I'm rewatching the HBO series Deadwood right now. It's from, the South Dakotas in the 1880s. Every guy, as soon as he's passing a woman, they all wore hats back then. The guy would tip his hat. All the time. That's what they did. That's being chivalrous. But getting back to what I'm going to say. I'm going to tell you this right now. And I didn't believe it. To attract a guy after, let's say, date 5, a girl will have sex with the guy basically as much as he wants. It's just a fact. Because she thinks, well, better chance than not of he will marry me if I do that all the time. Because let's face it, the dream of just about every girl is to be married. But I'm going to tell you this right now, men. And it's a shame it's that way. As soon as that wedding ring goes on this finger of the woman, it is the same as putting a chastity belt on her. I didn't believe that when I was growing up. But I was told, it's going to happen, trust me. And I used to say, nope, Nope. Because the girl I married was basically, you could say she was one thing before we got married, a nymphomaniac. We could have had sex 26 times every day if we wanted to. I swear to God, when we got home from our honeymoon, it was like the fucking chastity belt went on. It was like, oh, we don't got to do it anymore. Until it came time for them to want a child. As soon as they got baby fever, then it was, oh, come do me all the time now.
Even Tom said fact.
Yes!
I don't believe you, and I still refuse to believe that.
Trust me. Hey, you don't want to believe me, then don't believe me, but trust me.
And in 20 years, you're gonna ask me again, like.
No, but I'm going to remind you of it on your wedding day. I'm going to say it's over for you now.
It's over for you.
It's over for you.
No, you're not gonna remind me. You're gonna remind everyone.
If I live stream it,
say something to everyone. It's over.
It's
now.
over. It's over. Until baby fever shows up, it's over. It's true though. Like I said, all my friends told me that, and I said no. I said it might have been true for you. It's not going to be true for me. And it was. It was amazing. It was absolutely fucking amazing. It was like, yep, my job's done. I got a husband. I attracted a guy. Close the legs. Don't need to do it anymore.
Close the legs. Don't need to do it anymore.
And God forbid you ask for oral at that point. Fuck that. It was like, what? What the hell is that? They don't know what that is all of a sudden. I mean, maybe on your birthday, maybe. Hey, you don't believe me? Fine. Don't believe me. You'll see. You'll see. That's why I'm never getting married. Nope. If I get married, it'll be, you know, in the contract that we sign that we still have to have sex often.
Didn't know you had to sign a contract.
It's going to be in the prenuptial agreement that we still have sex a lot.
Define often.
Well, let's just say your father has a very strong libido even at my age.
Good for you.
I have no trouble doing it 4 times a day, every day. No trouble at all.
Don't need to know that.
Hey, you just said what's often.
You could have just said 2. Or, like, 2 a day, like, or 1 a day, or... 4!
4 a day? See, there you go. See, you can tell she's not married. You can tell.
What does it turn into then? 1 a year?
Well, it gradually decreases. Let's put it that way.
Oh, okay. So it's not the second the ring goes on, nope, that's it. It'll...
Well, it certainly gets cut in half as soon as the ring goes on. It's an immediate drop of 50%. It's just the way that it is. Sorry, but it is. But that's not the point of this talk. The talk is what women really want in a guy. What? What is she saying?
Personality.
Yes. Personality plays a really big factor.
Nice eyes.
Well, yeah, all right, yes. The first thing that girls see is how attractive a guy is. It's the same thing that a guy sees. You know, it's the first thing a girl sees is how attractive the guy is. Another reason why I live alone. It is what it is. That's why I have to pay escorts. Oops, did I say that? At least the ones in Schuylkill County are cheap because they don't have any teeth. Just keeping it real. Yes, personality is strong. She wants you to act like a man, not a pussy. Okay, that's what she wants. That's what she's looking for. The 98% of women, that's what they're looking for. She wants you to be a man. She wants you to act like a man, not these fucking weenies that are in a romantic comedy.
Hey, I'll get you the flag. No weenies allowed.
No weenies allowed.
You gonna talk about this anytime soon?
No, we'll bring that up on another show.
Okay.
Boy, tell you, boy. The wisdom of my father.
While drunk.
While drunk, of course. Corey Wayne calls it being the 3% man. Because only 3% of men in this whole world are like this. Confident, not cocky. And you know what? How a confident guy acts? Again, when I mean confident, not cocky, guys, you're the prize, not the girl. Do not ever, mistake number one right here. As much as girls like it, they actually don't, but they'll never tell you. Do not put a girl on a pedestal. Ever put a girl on a pedestal. They will emasculate you quickly. Treat them right. Yes, absolutely. Don't put them on a pedestal. Don't think you cannot live without them. If you're dating a girl and she breaks up with you, your loss, honey, not mine. Again, don't be cocky about it, though. Don't ever be cocky. You are the prize. Not them. They're not the prize. You are. And I know women will get mad at me when they hear that, but it's true. Women are always looking for a suitable mate. Always. Always. Men obviously aren't looking for that. So if you act like a man acts, you will have your choice of women. If you act like an emasculated little pussy, you'll have to beg for women, and you'll cry every time they break up with you. And you won't think you're ever good enough for them. And they will control your balls. You laugh. Go ahead. You laugh. You don't think I'm telling the truth? I'm telling the truth. And I'm not even drunk right now. The video I was. Here I'm not. Trust me, younger men, you think I'm lying? Go ask any other 45 to 50-year-old man. The worst thing young men do is you act immature. Don't act like you're all that. Because trust me, none of yous are all that. None of yous. There's not a single one of yous that are all that. Again, confident, not cocky. There's a big difference. You let your actions show who you are, not your words. That's the difference between confidence and cocky. A cocky person will tell you by their words. A confident person is going to tell you by their actions. I hope you understand the difference. That's how a confident man is. A confident man doesn't talk down about other men to make themselves feel good, to make them seem like I'm better than he is. Again, don't ever be in competition with another man. If the girl that you're with all of a sudden says, well, you know, maybe we need a break, you know, there might be somebody else. All right, see ya. Don't ever be in competition with another man. I had a girlfriend once, a few years ago, that, you know, we were dating. It was nothing serious yet. And she was dating another guy. Again, nothing serious. But she wanted to get serious with one of us, and she didn't know which one of us to choose. I made the choice for her. I took myself out of the running. Again, she's not the prize. You're the prize. You have to act like it doesn't matter. If you message a girl and she doesn't get back to you, it doesn't matter. A confident guy has choices. Always. Always. You ask a woman out on a date twice. No more. No more. If she blows you off twice, you never contact her again. Ever. Unless she contacts you first. The ball is in her court. If you asked her out twice and she's rejected you twice, or said, I don't know, I'll get back to you, she's twirling her hair, I don't know. No, it's it. Twice, that's it. Never again. Twice, that's it. Anything more, you're emasculated. I bet you Tom agrees with everything I'm saying, if he's still actually watching. I'll bet you he agrees. Tom, is there anything you don't agree with? Anything. We've been down this road before. We fought these battles. Trust me, you learn as you get older. You learn. It's a shame that younger men don't listen to us older men that have been through these battles.
Tom just said, yep.
Yep. So, that's what women are looking for, and that's how a man should act. So to summarize, men, you hold doors open for women all the time. You act confident, you don't act cocky. You let your actions speak. You don't let your words speak. Don't talk negative, especially about other guys. Don't bring your problems home with you. And, here's a very important one. An extremely important one, and I'm glad I just thought of it. Extremely important. And I learned this, believe it or not, when I was in high school. I read an article one time in the local newspaper growing up. Looking back on it, I can't believe this was actually an article in the newspaper. Trust me when I say that. Trust me 100%. If a woman starts complaining to you about whatever that's not about you, she's talking about her job. She's talking about her friends. She's talking about her life. She's talking about her parents. She's talking about her period. Anything. Shut your fucking mouth and listen. Go ahead. Say it, girl. Say preach. Preach. Preach, man.
I'm getting a stare down right now.
Shut your fucking mouth and listen.
I do.
Do not say a word. Nothing. You listen. And make sure you're actually listening. Like, hear them. Don't ignore them. Don't ever look at your phone when they're talking. Don't blow them off. Be a man.
Apparently I do that.
Listen to what they are saying. Do not say a word. This is where you shut your mouth. Because, again, we think as guys, when a guy goes to his friends and starts complaining about something, no matter what it is, guys are looking for a solution. That's how we guys think. We're looking for a solution to something. That's why we go to somebody with a problem, because we want your help with a solution. Girls don't want your help with a solution.
There'll be a quiz after listening.
Exactly. Girls just want to be heard. When they're done, now listen up, ladies. When they're done, a guy should ask, do you want my opinion? Or at any time, do you want my opinion? Or do you just want me to listen? And a girl shouldn't bitch about just give him the answer you want. Because girls always think for some reason guys can read their mind. But guys cannot read a girl's mind. Trust me, we can't. I am going to tell you though, when she's complaining, she just wants you to listen. When she's done, ask her, do you want my opinion? But normally she doesn't. So don't offer it unless if she says yes to that question. But be prepared to hear a no. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a no. But girls, you got to be honest and actually tell him no. And don't get mad at him for asking. There's nothing wrong with a guy asking a question. Don't ever get mad at anybody for asking a question. If you're a guy or a girl, don't ever get mad if they ask you a question. Ever get mad. Very important. That's a very important one. So guys, shut your fucking mouth. Just listen. Let them bitch and bitch and bitch. Okay? You are their mountain. What is a mountain? It's an immovable object. You have to be the strong person. Another good analogy, you are the bowl. The woman is the water that's in the bowl. It sloshes around back and forth. The bowl never sloshes around. It's always the sturdy thing. You let them be the water, you be the bowl. Does that make sense? Yes? Yes. Words of wisdom from Counselor Phatts.
Maybe you should be a guidance.
You know what? We should have done that as a fireside chat.
I was thinking about that.
We should have done this as a fireside chat. God damn it. Damn it. Maybe we should do this whole scene over again as a fireside chat. That'd have been great. I wish you said it. See? Should have said it. Fireside chat this. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. The long show tonight almost went an hour and a half. Long show. But this was very important stuff that we had to talk about. So to recap, keep your mouth shut. Act like a man. Don't act like these guys in these stupid freaking movies that get emancipated. You never put a girl on a pedestal. Ever. Treat her like she's your queen, yes, but don't put her on a pedestal. Treat her like she's the most important person in your life, because she is the most important person in your life, but don't put her on a pedestal. I will make that this object now. This is not the most important thing. Trust me. There's how many billion of these out there? Don't make you think like the girl I'm with is the only one of these I'm ever going to be inside of. It's not true. Okay? I could sit here and give you example after example after example of guys that have acted like fucking weenies. That me and the non-genetically proven son know of. I could easily think of 2 right off the top of my head.
All right.
All right, what?
Tangenting here.
So that's our show for tonight. Thank you for sticking with us. It was a long show. But it's a Tuesday night. What the hell is on a Tuesday night?
I'm sure there's something on.
Besides college basketball.
Actually, I'm pretty sure Penn State plays tonight, I think.
Yeah, they're going to lose, so what does it matter?
They either play tonight or tomorrow.
I mean, I'm sure on Lifetime there will be a romantic comedy on.
There you go.
And I'm sure on FX there'll be some guy blowing something up.
See, Michigan, Illinois.
Yes, I know Michigan played Illinois tonight. I know
Penn State does not play tonight. They play tomorrow.
There you go.
Did they play tomorrow? Yeah, they're a 4.5-point favorite.
Over who?
Yeah, Minnesota.
So, on Thursday's show, I have no idea what the hell we're going to talk about right now.
More about this. I'm very interested.
More counseling.
Well,
we could talk about...
We could talk about this privately offline, about the mistakes the non-genetically proven son is making.
Look. We could talk about soccer. About how Manchester City just tied a Premier League record today.
We're not talking about soccer.
Damn.
All right. Thank you for sticking with us tonight. Again, it was a long show, but it was well worth it, the stuff that we talked about. So remember, and let me drag this out so I get the ending stuff all ready to go.
So remember,
like we always do, ladies and gentlemen, remember this: where we go 1,
Legal all.
Thank you, guys and gals. We'll see you Thursday.